Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. You hear they're fighting?
Yes.
Bro. That's going to be fucking crazy. What are your thoughts just off the bat? Like Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. I saw that announcement and I was like, okay, there's no fucking way. Someone told me, I was with someone, they're like, yo, you hear that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are fighting?
Right.
I'm like, what the hell?
It's similar to what, because it's going to be an exhibition, as always, similar to what happened with Floyd and Logan Paul.
Okay.
Or with Roy Jones and Mike Tyson. But my biggest issue that I have with it is not on Mike Tyson's end, because he's at the point in his career, in his life, to where you can do these exhibition type of situations as a cash grab, and it's great. My problem is with Jake Paul trying to be taken, or I should say viewed as a legitimate boxer, and you keep fighting these, senior citizen retirees.
Yeah, but it's Mike Tyson.
No, it is, but that's the thing where you look at it like, yo, this is Iron Mike.
Do you remember we talked about this in the podcast?
Right.
This is like episode 5 or something.
Way earlier with the celebrity boxing.
How old would Mike Tyson have to be for you to beat him in a fight? Because to this day, Mike Tyson would beat my ass.
Absolutely.
At my 170 pounds, he's still 200 something.
Yeah.
He would still beat my ass.
He's probably like 210, 220.
And because of that skill gap, because I understand how it works. I've boxed dudes that are fucking Logan Paul Mayweather. Logan Paul was like freaking
6'2",
yeah, like
maybe
6'2", like 200 something pounds.
210,
big guy.
180.
Mayweather's
yeah.
like 150.
Right.
The fact that Logan Paul couldn't hit him shows you the skill gap.
Right.
So I've boxed guys that are way bigger than me, work them because of that skill gap. So I can only imagine, like, there's levels to this shit. Mike Tyson's probably, he's at the top. Right. Muhammad Ali was even like, yo, I'm scared of this guy, pointing to Mike Tyson.
Yeah, but the thing with Tyson is, though, when you consider his prime, you're looking at age 18 to 30, because he became champion at age 20, so that was in 86. His last time in which he was incredibly dangerous is what, 2000?
Yeah.
So that would put him at 34 around that area. And then here you are years upon years after retirement. And he's so in the point to where you're not a legitimate threat, but you still have the mystique.
You saw him against Roy Jones.
He looked sharp or whatever. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say so much of worked. I think it was, I believe that he won, although there was no winner. Right. He won, but Roy Jones is still, he's no slouch either.
But right after the announcer, the commentator went up to Roy Jones like, hey, how do you feel? Are you okay?
Right.
And Mike Tyson goes, I'm fucking older than him. Why no one ask if I'm okay?
Right.
Because the fact that Mike whooped him like that, it's like they're asking if the other guy's okay. It's like, are you okay?
Yeah.
But Mike's like, whoa, no one's gonna ask me.
Roy Jones, I wouldn't necessarily go as far to make it seem as if homie didn't stand no particular chance. I do believe that he lost. If you were to actually have a victor, then Mike Tyson did win the fight. But my biggest concern with a situation like this is, there's no knock on Mike's legacy if, in the event, Jake Paul were to win the fight, because you're a 57-year-old man. My issue is, as I stated prior, with Jake wanting to be viewed as a legitimate boxer, you keep fighting non-boxers.
Well, so here's the thing. I think with Jake, he's in a weird position because no matter what he does, people are going to talk shit to him.
And he's a hell of a goddamn ticket.
Here's the thing. He fought Anderson Silva, beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., decorated boxer. Anderson Silva whooped him, right? Jake Paul beats Anderson Silva. They're like, oh, but he's a retired MMA fighter. He's old. So it's almost like they take credit away from Jake no matter what he does. So now he's been boxing because of this. He's like, fuck it, I'm going to stop doing the MMA fighters. He's been boxing like boxers, Golden Glove guys.
Yeah, he fought Tommy Fury, lost that one.
Well, no, he bought 2 other boxers that won Golden Gloves.
two other ones. But then I think the guy who he recently had beat was 30. I don't want to throw age, he's 36, he's past his prime or whatever. But I think the thing with Jake is, because of how he speaks of himself, you would assume, he's on the same, he views himself with the Tyson Furies.
I hate to be the guy defending the Jake Paul because I think he just wants people to take him seriously. And this is the way I would look at it.
I do believe he's a very capable boxer.
Floyd Mayweather, who was his first 5 opponents?
Nobody can tell.
No, Canelo, first 5 opponents. Nobody knows these guys.
Nobody knows these guys.
So he was fighting, they were fighting these same type of people.
Right. But I think it's just a marketability one, because Jake Paul is able to generate so much money just off of his name alone going into these fights. But then I think the difference is, in all of the different, when you look at a Floyd Mayweather, when you look at a Mike Tyson, when you look at a Muhammad Ali, all of those guys, in their ascension, they had to work their way towards having the notoriety, to making that amount of money, and also the reception of being taken seriously to where they can say, I'm the best or whatever. Jake Paul, immediately, straight out the gate, was like, yo, I'm on this tier, I'm over here.
Yeah, but
and then with Logan, he's like, man, Logan beat Floyd or whatever. And anybody with a brain can see it and say, hey, wait a minute.
He walked that back. I think Jake, he's a younger brother. Like I would hope if I ever box Floyd Mayweather, my brother's in there. Doesn't matter.
Oh, absolutely. You'd want to be like, yo, man, he's doing. Yeah, but then the thing is, like, do you really believe that? Because of course you can big it up and kind of sell it, you know, to yourself, because it's gonna bring in more eyes, bring in more money.
Right.
But I think my only thing with Jake is, and I don't even come off like I'm a hater of Jake, because I appreciate what he's doing as it pertains to, you know, being able to bring in, generate that much money, pivot from what he was doing with the Team 10 and the YouTube and all the other stuff to now going in boxing. But I think for him, although this is the best way to make a mass amount of money is fight these guys, but if you actually want to be a world champion, this ain't the way to do it.
This is the way I look at it, right? I don't like when people say Jake's not a real fighter. He's a real fighter. It's undeniable. It doesn't matter if he's fighting MMA guys. MMA guys can still fucking scrap. Doesn't matter if you're just throwing hands. Doesn't matter, like, these guys can fucking fight. I guarantee you put any of those guys that he's fought in the ring with anyone else, they hurt people.
Yeah, they probably.
Diaz looked like garbage.
So, but I think with Jake,
and the expertise, depending on, you know, what it is that they fight.
He needs to fight like a boxer, but the issue, he's in a tricky position, because if I'm running a business and I want to make money, who am I fighting? I'm fighting the guys with the biggest names.
Exactly.
So who's a boxer with a big name? There's no boxers with a big name that are in Jake's division. Canelo, that's the only one.
And that's where the issue exists, because I'm looking at it from the perspective of, I understand from a business side of why you would fight all of these retirees and make as much money. Because if you're Jake Paul, and I want to fight somebody else who's established, and people can look at the card and be like, yo, he's actually fighting somebody. Because Jake Paul, despite not having the experience of like a Canelo or whatever, he demands the attention that a Canelo does.
Right.
So that's where it's a weird dichotomy. That's the only reason why my concern, or I should say my critique of Jake Paul, is you can't necessarily say you're on that elk or your trajectory is that of the world champion, because you are fighting a bunch of guys who have a name.
But why would the trajectory be the same if he's knocking dudes out in his freaking like 10th fight?
Like, for example, when you fight like a Ben Askren is a sensational wrestler. But he's a wrestler.
But if you notice, that was like his second or third fight.
Like second
he's
or third
gone
fight.
Up in levels.
You fight a Nate Robinson, retired NBA player. You fight Ben Askren. You fight Tyron Woodley twice. Woodley started pulling his punches. Then he ended up getting knocked the fuck out. Then you go and you fight a bunch of other people. Like when he was fighting against Tommy Fury, that was a perfect situation.
I think he won that fight, by the way.
He lost. No. I don't think he won that fight. I think he cleanly lost that one. I think it was his most competitive.
Tommy Fury too. I think there's a lot of politics. I think there's a lot of politics in that family, of the boxing family. I think Francis Ngannou beat Tyson Fury.
I do agree with that one.
I think Jake Paul beat Tommy Fury. And I think KSI beat Tommy Fury also. Because the way you score boxing,
I say KSI beat Tommy Fury, but I don't think
you get a knockdown, you get a point deduction. That point goes off. So that means Tommy Fury would have to have a 10-8 round with no knockdowns. It's fucking crazy, bro. So like for the KSI, I think KSI beat Tommy Fury. I think Jake Paul also beat Tommy Fury. I think Francis Ngannou beat Tyson Fury, but I think boxing politics.
Yeah, I agree with Francis beating Tyson and KSI beating Tommy, because it was incredibly close. And watching it, I said, you know what? If KSI won, I got no issues. But with the Jake Paul and Tommy Fury, although it was relatively close, I lean more towards Tommy. I'd probably have to go back and watch the fight, but at the time, I lean more towards Tommy. But overall, with Jake and Tyson, I'm just going to be very curious what the reception will be at the conclusion of the fight, because as dangerous as Tyson was at his peak, he's no longer that. So I don't view it through that lens, because you watch Tyson train, he's throwing bombs.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there like, yo, all he has to do is just connect. And then if Jake loses, it's like, well, he's fucking Mike Tyson. So it doesn't matter how old. But you have to take into account, this isn't Mike in his prime. This is Mike 30 years later.
What I don't like is the side switching, because I've seen this from an example, right? Like, let's say I'm not successful. I'm like, I'm gonna start a business, I'm gonna become successful. People are like, you're delusional, you're an idiot.
Right.
But then the second you get rich and you make money, then it's like, okay, give me my credit, I did it. They're like, oh no, but you're a fucking scammer and you're taking money, you don't care about poor people. It's like no matter what, you can't win.
He's exactly.
So Jake Paul, I hate that side switching because
it's a tough situation for him.
If he knocks him out, you knocked out a senior citizen.
Exactly.
But if he gets knocked out, he's like, oh, well, you lost to an old man.
Exactly.
No matter what, it's a lose-lose for him.
Exactly.
And I hate that because people don't like. So which one is he? Is he an old man?
Yeah.
Or is he?
I'm weighing all different options of what happens because if you beat, as you said, if you beat Tyson, you beat an old Tyson. He's no longer what he was. You get knocked out. Well, it's Mike Tyson, right? If it's a close fight, that's great. But then at the same time, he's still fucking 57.
Yeah, like, oh, how can you not take out Tyson?
That's why I think for Jake, if you want to be viewed, because if it's about money, I'm all for it.
I mean, it's a Netflix fucking thing, bro. That's crazy.
Exactly. My only issue that I have with Jake is if you truly want to be a world champion, you got to just go beat up all the fucking box. Fuck who is this person? Whatever. You run through the entire goddamn division. You beat everybody because you've already made enough money to where if you want to keep it about boxing in and of itself,
that's what he's been doing. He's been fighting Golden Gloves guys. They won Golden Gloves. You can't take away the fact that they won a Golden Glove.
You can't take that away.
Now they're a little older, but still, like they might be trash cans or journeymen.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's like he
did those fights for free. It was like for free on ESPN.
And that's where I can give him credit. But then the downside is you want to be the champion. You want to at least be able to be taken seriously in that realm. Just fucking wipe the floor with everybody. You're not like the regular average fighter. You've got the money, so you don't need it. I understand you don't want to waste your time fighting a bunch of tomato cans or people who nobody knows who the fuck they are, which I get that from a business perspective. But then the only downside is truly and it's not to be accepted by the casual. Fuck the casual. You should be looking at it as I want boxing purists to look at me and say, yo, this motherfucker here, he's got it. I think that's who he should truly try to go and attract. But ultimately, I get it from a business perspective. I get it. It's just that he just be fighting these older dudes,
dropping like Mike Tyson's been dropping just training videos.
Right.
Because everyone's like, he's too old. He's doing this. So Mike Tyson's like, well, fuck you guys. Because Mike Tyson, he has that dog in him. Doesn't matter how old he is. He's a killer.
Right.
So he's been dropping videos. He's like day 3. Like he was like, let me pull it up.
Training and stuff. But then it's so weird because I still look at I refuse to look at it from the perspective of this is the same Tyson of old. Like I can't convince myself that's what the case is because I think that's what the whole attractive.
So he's been dropping training videos every day. The dude still looks fucking scary. He's like
he does. That's the thing about it. Like if you watch him in the gym, he still moves with the same intensity, the same ferociousness, and his trainer looks like he's on the verge of death in the midst of every sparring session.
And he still goes like, "You still want to fuck with me? Like, look at this, bro."
Right. He still looks good at his age. He still looks good, but he is no longer, the world champion Mike Tyson. Because if you were to put him inside the ring with the heavyweights who are at the peak right now, you put him against like an Anthony Joshua. You put him against like a Tyson Fury. You put him in there against those guys. I don't see him being able to win, but he's fucking Mike Tyson. It's the mystique.